sorry about that, folks. I'm going to have to. I had to restart the feed here, so I'm going to. Let me restart this feed here so I can. Let me restart the. I hate when that happens. I tell you what happened is. We'll go ahead and we'll do that again since I got so interrupted here. Okay, we're going to start that here again in just a second. Okay, here we go. One more time. Tommy D, yeah, before I was so rudely interrupted. Look up in the sky, up toward the north, there are 3 new stars, brightly shining forth. They're shining so bright from heaven above. Gee, we're gonna miss you. Everybody sends their love.
On the left stands Richie Valens, a young boy just 17, just beginning to realize and explore his teenage dreams. Why did God call him, oh, so far away? Maybe to help some boy or girl who might have gone astray. With his stars shining through the dark and lonely night, to light the path and show the way that's right.
Gee, we're gonna miss you. Everybody sends their love.
On the right stands Buddy Holly with a shy grin on his face. Funny how you always seem to notice that one little curl out of place. Not many people really knew Buddy or understood how he felt, but just a song from his lips would make the coldest heart melt. Buddy's singing for God now in his chorus in the sky. Buddy Holly, we'll always remember you with tears in our eyes.
Gee, we're gonna miss you. Everybody sends their love.
In the middle stands a stout man. The Big Bopper is his name. Now God has called him, perhaps to new fortune and fame. He wore a big Stetson hat and sort of rambled up to the mic. And how can we ever forget those wonderful words, you know what I like.
Look up in the sky, up toward the north, there are 3 new stars, brightly shining forth. They're shining so bright from heaven above. Gee, we're gonna miss you. Everybody sends
Tommy D from 1959, a tribute to Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. After the day the music died, of course, we're celebrating. Well, actually, not celebrating. I guess that's a really poor choice of words. We're kind of commemorating the 66th anniversary of the day the music died, February 3rd, 1959, and that will be this coming Monday. So I thought I'd play some Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and Big Bopper tunes. So I had to restart the feed. Sorry about that. But as the story continues on, on that Winter Party Dance Tour of 1959, not only was it the headliners Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens, but you also had a few more acts dragging along. And one of those acts, he still performs to this day, of course without his backup band, but it was Dion DiMucci and the Belmonts, and they were on that Winter Party Dance Tour. And they would often fill in for each other's musicians. So Buddy would play drummer on, some of Richie's stuff, and the Big Bopper would play guitar on some of Buddy's stuff, and so on and so forth. Well, Dion and the Belmonts, of course, they all intermixed and mingled as well as their band members. So on that Winter Party Dance Tour of '59, Dion and the Belmonts were on the bill, and so don't want to leave them out, is because they had to go on and fill in for the Big Three when the plane crash occurred. So here you go from 1959. Here you go, Dion and the Belmonts, A Teenager Love.
57 WMCA, New York.
On the Laurie Records label, Dion and the Belmonts, A Teenager Love. Winter Party Dance Tour 1959. The day the music died.
Each time we have a quarrel, it almost breaks my heart, 'cause I'm so afraid that we will have to part. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? One day I feel so happy, the next day I feel so sad. I guess I'll learn to take the good with the bad, 'cause each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? I cried a tear for nobody but you. I'll be a lonely one if you should say we're through. Well, if you want to make me cry, that won't be so hard to do. If you should say goodbye, I'll still go on loving you. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love? I cried a tear for nobody but you. I'll be a lonely one if you should say we're through. Well, if you want to make me cry, that won't be so hard to do. And if you should say goodbye, I'll still go on loving you. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love?
1959, it was mighty fine. Dion and the Belmonts. Yep, continuing on with the Winter Party Dance Tour. Filling in and, of course, doing without the Buddy, Richie, and the Big Bopper, as they had to continue on. As they say, the show must go on. You know, when they were supposed to be going from Mason City, Clear Lake, and Mason City, Iowa, their next stop was Fargo, Moorhead, North Dakota. Well, obviously, without Richie and Buddy and the Big Bopper, they needed some fill-in acts. Well, they called ahead to the Fargo area, and they put out the a All Points Bulletin for some local acts to fill in, and one of the acts was a guy named Robert Valine, and he had a group called the Shadows. Well, he went in, and because he knew all the words to all the Buddy Holly songs, they hired him to fill in for Buddy Holly. And of course, they kind of ad-libbed their way through the other tunes, but the other band members from the other groups that were on the tour were able to take up the slack from Richie Valens and the Big Bopper in their absence, obviously. But as the showbiz theme always says, the show must go on. So from 1960, here is Bobby V and the Shadows and Devil or Angel, and they owe their chart success to the day the music died.
1550 KQWB Fargo, Moorhead.
Devil or Angel, Robert Valine. Here's Bobby V.
Devil or angel, I can't make up my mind which one you are. I'd like to wake up and find. Devil or angel, whichever you are. I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. Devil or angel, please say you'll be mine. Love me or leave me, I'll go out of my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I need you, I need you, I need you. You look like an angel, your smile is divine, but you keep me guessing, will you ever be mine? Devil or angel, please say you'll be mine. Love me or leave me, I've made up my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I love you, I love you, I love you. Devil or angel, please say you'll be mine. Love me or leave me, I've made up my mind. Devil or angel, dear, whichever you are, I love
Robert
you.
the Line.
I love
We knew him as Bobby V.
I love
And the Shadows, 1960, their biggest, one of their big hits from the early time, and that would be "Devil or Angel." That was actually a remake of an early and mid '50s R&B song, and of course, the reason that Bobby V is so important in the intertwining of the story is that he filled in for Buddy Holly on the next stop because he knew all the words to the Buddy Holly songs, and of course he was able to fill in for Richie and the Big Bopper as well, kind of ad-libbing his way through the other tunes as well. So that's how Bobby V fits into that puzzle. You know, there was another guy that was on the Winter Party Dance Tour. He's kind of largely forgotten. Nobody really ever mentions this guy, but I thought we'd give him his props tonight. A guy named Frankie Sardo. He was from New York, and he was part of the Winter Party Dance Tour along with Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, Richie Valens, and Dion and the Belmonts. His name was Frankie Sardo, and he only had a couple of minor hits, but he was just good enough that they decided that Dick Clark's Caravan of Stars decided to put him on the Winter Party Dance Tour heading around the Midwest. So here you go, Frankie Sardo from New York City. It's a song called Fake Out from 1958.
New York, WINS.
The Forgotten Guy on the Winter Party Dance Tour 59.
I went to my girl and I said, hey Betty Lou, I hear you've been playing around with someone new. She looked at me with a gleam in her eye. She said, why shouldn't I? Oh, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, what a fake out. Man, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, a fake out. I said, Betty Lou, you make me feel sad. You sit there laughing while I'm seeming mad. She looked at me with her eyes so cruel. She said, man, play it cool. Oh, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, what a fake out. Man, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, a fake out. Now I let her go, and I know I did right. She'll have another date before tonight. He'll call her on the phone, and he'll say his love is true. And she'll say, good for you. Oh, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, what a fake out. Man, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, a fake out. Now she found a guy who could play the part. He took all her loving and then he broke her heart. She called me on the phone and she was feeling so sad. And I said, that's too bad. Oh, what a fake out. Oh, yeah, what a fake out.
One of the forgotten artists that was on the Winter Party Dance Tour of 1959 with Buddy and Richie and the Big Bopper and Dion and the Belmonts. That would be Frankie Sardo and Fake Out from 1958. Of course, he had a couple of minor hits, and like I said, we thought he'd give him his props tonight because nobody really ever mentions him when they talk about that fateful plane crash, and of course the rest of the Winter Party Dance Tour, Dick Clark's Caravan of Stars. Here's a little bit of a trivia tidbit for you. If you ever have original copies of Buddy Holly and the Crickets records, you're going to notice that the records were recorded on both Coral and on Brunswick, and they were both subsidiaries of the same record company. But by contractual obligation, for whatever reason, I don't know the intricacies of it. I guess I'll have to do a little more digging on that. But any record that was released on Brunswick was credited to the Crickets or Buddy Holly and the Crickets. If it was on Coral, which is the orange label that has Peggy Sue and some of the other ones, it was just credited to Buddy Holly. It's the same group, same backing musicians, but for whatever reason, on Brunswick, it was Buddy Holly and the Crickets or just the Crickets, but if it was on Coral, it was Buddy Holly without the Crickets. So there you go. The more you listen, the more you know. And here's one of my favorites. This was actually the flip side of Oh Boy, and the Rolling Stones did a cover of it in the mid-'60s, but this is the original from 1957. It's called Not Fade Away.
The band comes here to play. 1340 K Lubbock, KLBK.
1957, Not Fade Away on the Brunswick Records label. Credited to Buddy Holly and the Crickets on a Friday night oldies party.
I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna be. Are you gonna give your love to me? I wanna love you night and day. You know my love will not fade away. Oh, well, you know my love will not fade away. My love is bigger than a Cadillac. I try to show it when you're driving me back. Your love for me got to be real, for you to know just how I feel. A love for real, not fade away.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets from 1957. Flip side of Oh Boy and Not Fade Away on a Friday night oldies party, $1 Million Hottwax. It's our spotlight segment to the day the music died, February 3rd, 1959, and in that fateful plane crash in a cornfield just outside of Mason City, Iowa. And Big Bopper, being from southeast Texas in the Beaumont, Port Arthur area, he was influenced by a lot of bluesy stuff. So on his radio show on KTRM, he would play a lot of he'd play a lot of early rock and roll, but he was playing some rhythm and blues and some blues and even some country mixed in. It was kind of an all-encompassing format at KTRM at the time, and but he really embraced the rock and roll side of it. So here you go from 1958. Here's one of his follow-up records. on the Mercury Records label. From Beaumont, Port Arthur, Texas, the Big Bopper, Giles Perry Richardson. One more time, it's the Big Bopper's Wedding.
1340.
And the man keeps saying, do you take this woman to be your awful wedded wife? I then I started thinking about no more winking at the pretty little gals bopping by. No more dancing and a new romance, and Lord, it made me want to sit down and cry. Oh, no pool shooting and a rootin' and a tootin' with the boys if I take you for my wife. I can't go no place, I gotta look at your face for the rest of my doggone life. This is it! And honey, what am I doing here in the first place? You know I don't go for this marriage bit. I was only kidding. And there's your daddy sitting over there with a shotgun laying across his lap and a big smile on his ugly face. And the man keeps saying, are you gonna take this woman or ain't you? Well, then I started thinking about no more winking at the pretty little gals bopping by. No more dancing and a new romance, and Lord, it made me want to sit down and cry. No pool shooting and a rootin' and a tootin' with the boys if I take you for my wife. I can't go no place, I gotta look at your face for the rest of my doggone life. This is it. Honey, what's this jazz about love, honor, and obey? That cat's talking to me. Hey, look at all these good-looking bridesmaids standing around. Hello, baby. And the man in charge keeps saying, look here, do you take this woman or don't you? Well, then I started thinking about no more winking at the pretty little gals bopping by. No more dancing and a new romance, and Lord, it made me want to sit down and cry. No pool shooting and a rootin' and a tootin' with the boys if I take you for my wife. I can't go no place, I gotta look at your face for the rest of my doggone life. This is it!
Giles Perry Richardson, the Big Bopper. Yep, his follow-up to Chantilly Lace, 1958.
I don't believe I do. Let me out of here.
Big Bopper's Wedding on a Friday night oldies party spotlight segment. That would be, once again, Giles Perry Richardson. And you know, again, highlighting the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, Ricardo Esteban Valenzuela. You know, he wanted to get back to some of his roots. So I know he was enjoying the rock and roll scene and all that, but he wanted to kind of give back to his Mexican heritage by doing a song in tribute to his heritage. Well, the problem was with that is one, Spanish songs didn't really sell that very well in the late 50s on the rock and roll scene. So, and Richie, here's the other issue, is that Richie, although his mother and his brother and his sisters all spoke Spanish, he never really spoke Spanish. He understood it, but he never really spoke it. So his pronunciations weren't exactly dead spot on. He kind of got by, but he was not very good with Espanol. So what Bob Keane at Delphi Records did, he said, I think I got an idea for you. Why don't we take a song, an old Mexican folk song, and why don't we just do a verse or two of it, and we'll practice, and we'll phonetically put the words on paper for you so that you can read them, and we'll let you practice them. So Richie, being as determined as he was, 17 years old, he said, all right. So he decided to take a Mexican folk song that had like thousands of verses and kind of narrow it down to like one or two verses. And if you translate I understand the words, speaking Spanish and understanding it, the words really don't make a lot of sense in English, but they make, sense when you sing it in Spanish. But here you go. It was the flip side of Donna from late 1958, and it was his first, and it was the first record in the rock and roll era of foreign language descent to actually hit the charts. So here you go, La Bamba.
Esta es la estación número 1 en Hollywood, California. Es mi favorito.
KFAWB, Channel 98. Away!
La Bamba from 1958. Richie Valens, one more time.
Arriba y arriba, y arriba y arriba.
Late 1958. La Bamba. Yep, Richie Valens. Yep. Having to phonetically read the words so that he could sing them. Yep. Like I said, he wasn't very fluent in Spanish at all. Although, like I said, his mother and his brother Bob and his sisters and even his cousins all spoke Spanish, and he understood it. He just didn't speak it very well. So that would be the story behind that. Now, Richie wrote most all of his own material. For a 17-year-old kid, that's quite a feat. So he wrote a song called "That's My Little Susie."
Win spin.
On the Delphi Records label. That's My Little Susie. Richie Valens, one more time.
Well, I got a gal named Sue. She knows just what to do. She's just a robin. She knows what to do. She knows how to love me and rock me too. That's my little Susie. She knows what to do. She rocks to the left and she rocks to the right. She rocks all day and she rocks all night. When my baby gets tired of me, I'm gonna drown myself in the sea. Well, come on, let's go, little Susie. Tell me you believe if I should lose you, what could I do?
Esther Garcia checking in. Our boy from Pacoima. That's exactly right. And I've actually been to Pacoima a couple of years ago when I was out there. I drove through his old neighborhood. That's My Little Susie. 1958, a twin spin action there. La Bamba from Ricardo Valenzuela. And then That's My Little Susie. On a Friday night oldies party, it's our spotlight segment, our tribute to the day the music died in February 3rd, 1958. So this coming Monday will be the anniversary, if you will, of the infamous and fatal plane crash that took the lives of Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and of course Richie Valens. Now there were a whole bunch of tribute songs that came out after that, and they didn't necessarily just come out in the United States. Even across the pond in jolly old England, they felt the impact as well. So there was a group called Mike Berry and the Outlaws, and they decided to do their own tribute. Now this is more to a tribute to Buddy, but it kind of gives the sentiment of losing all three. So here's a song from 1960 from Mike Berry and the Outlaws from jolly old England, and it's called Tribute to Buddy.
Swing it, Radio England, where the action is. Swing it, Radio England, where the action is.
Snowing, wind was blowing when the world said goodbye, buddy. Still I know that up in heaven is where we'll hear him sing again. Whoa. Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly was killed in a plane crash in 1959. But his songs will always be remembered. Always. said goodbye, buddy. Still I know that up in heaven is where we'll hear him sing again. Whoa,
Yeah, from jolly old England. Yep, the crash that killed Big Bopper, Buddy Holly, and Richie Valens impacted them as well. They felt the loss and the absence as well. Mike Berry and the Outlaws in 1960, that would be a tribute to Buddy. And like I said, there were many tribute songs from that, but those were, I played one before called 3 Stars from Tommy D. That was one of the other big ones that came out and the year or two after the big plane crash. The Winter Party Dance Tour 1959, of course, continuing on as it were, and in a broken down bus with no heat in the Midwest in early February with tons of snow. Nothing good's going to come out of that, and obviously it didn't. But the tour did continue on with Dion and the Belmonts and Bobby V and the Shadows and Frankie Sardo and a cast of thousands. They got local bands at the various stops along the rest of the tour to fill in. But the Big Bopper, of course, one more time, had another hit on the charts in early 1959, and it was kind of an answer song to Sheb Wooley's Purple People Eater, and he did a novelty tune called The Purple People Eater meets the Big Bopper. Gee, imagine that. But, you know, being from Port Arthur / Beaumont, Texas, which really isn't that far from Houston. I've been to Port Arthur's kind of gritty and dirty, but Beaumont, it's a little more of I call it an oil town, but it's about an hour east of Houston on Interstate 10, and so there was a lot of Houston influence on the Big Bopper, working at KTRM Radio and the Big 990 on your radio dial. Here's his follow-up to the Big Bopper's wedding. It's called The Purple People Eater Meets the Big Bopper.
Music. That's our middle name. KILT. Music. 610 in Houston.
Actually, he's meeting the witch doctor.
I got real shook, I heard the strangest sound. I saw the Purple People Eater, and to my surprise, the witch doctor sitting by his side. The witch doctor had a little guitar in his hand, and they were popping and a rocking with a two-piece band. Purple was a blowing like a people eater should. Witch doctor picked like Johnny B. Good. They went I got troubles, that's what he said. Girls keep laughing about the horn in my head. The witch doctor smiled and I heard him say, yeah, man, you're ugly, but you sure can play. There in the moonlight it seemed so strange as they blowed a chorus of Home on a Range. They were coming on strong like rock and roll stars. Played the sweetest music of the side of Mars. They went These cats from outer space were giving it all, and I could tell the way they rocked that they were having a ball. They were coming on strong, I was clapping my hands, stopped long enough to say, easy man! So at twilight time, when the sun goes down, back in the woods on the edge of town, people all together from miles around to hear Doc and old Purple play the crazy sounds. They go, oh yeah.
1958, early 1959, the Big Bopper and the Purple People Eater meet the Witch Doctor and the Big Bopper. His follow-up to the Big Bopper's wedding on Thank you very much. Friday Night Oldies Party. It's our spotlight segment, the day the music died. We're commemorating February 3rd, 1959, 66 years ago, this coming Monday, that we lost them in that fatal plane crash just outside of Mason City, Iowa. And again, as I was telling you earlier, one of the other groups that was on that Winter Party Dance Tour of 1959, rattling around the Midwest in the snow and the cold with a broken heater, was Dion and the Belmonts. Well, you know, Dion is still alive to this day. Dion is like in his 80s, and he still performs on stage, still doing the old hits. You know, he had a long career. Got a little folksy there for a while, and then he got back to his rock and roll roots, but he was a big, they call him the king of doo-wop. He had a bunch of hits that had a doo-wop flavor to them, and this one is no exception. From 1959, I Wonder Why.
77 WABC.
And we love you.
No, I love you like I do. No, I do. Don't know why I love you. Don't know why I care. I just want your love to share. I wonder why I love you like I do. Is it because I think you love me too? I wonder why I love you like I do, like I do. I told my friends that we would never part. They often said that you would break my heart. I wonder why they think that we will part. We will When you're with me, I'm sure you're always true. When I'm away, I wonder what you do. I wonder why. I'm sure you're always true, always true.
Dion DiMucci and the Belmonts, the king of doo-wop, 1959. Yep, continuing on with the Winter Party Dance Tour of 1959. On the bill with the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens.
Brian K.
Straight up 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock Central. We're going to continue it on because we're going to finish up the story tonight. So stand by. The day the music died.
KEYS Corpus Christi.
Now this was a follow-up again from, and I played one of his tunes earlier. It's a Frankie Sardo. That's his second hit from 1960. He was on the bill with the Winter Party Dance Tour. He was along with Buddy and Richie and the Big Bopper, Dion and the Belmonts, and all the rest that, all the local bands and all the various cities that they were in. Frankie Sardo, he was on the bill as well on the day the music died. But he obviously was not in the plane crash, but he did survive that bus trip with the broken heater and the frostbite. 1960, when the bells stop ringing on a Friday night. Frankie Sardo on the Winter Party Dance Tour, 1959.
My darling, do you doubt my love? I'll tell you no lie. My love for you will grow and grow until the day I die. When the bells stop ringing and the angels stop their singing, that's when I'll stop loving you. And when the mountains crumble and when the sea runs dry, when lovers cease to walk beneath the stars up in the sky, when the bells stop ringing and the angels stop their singing, that's when I'll stop loving you. I'll stop loving you, my dear, when a songbird sheds a tear and the stars refuse to shine. That's when I'll say you're not mine, 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 mine.
1960, Frankie Sardo, one of the members of the Dick Clark's Caravan of Stars Winter Party Dance Tour, 1959. Just giving the boys some props tonight because everybody seems to forget him when they tell the story. Frankie Sardo from New York City. And, of course, back to Buddy Holly. Charles Hardin, Buddy Holly. Here's a little tidbit for you. You know, when he signed his original contract with Brunswick/Coral Records, when he signed the contract, they misspelled his last name. His original spelling is Charles Hardin Holly, Holley. Well, when they did the contract up, they put on there Charles Hardin Holly, Holly. Well, they didn't want to go back and retype it, so he went on ahead and signed it. And so they decided to go ahead and release his records under Buddy Holly, Holly. Buddy Holly and the Crickets, or just plain Buddy Holly. So there you go. You're in the know. One of my favorites from 1958. Here he is, Charles Hardin, Buddy Holly from Lubbock, Texas, and rave on.
Wonderful 159 KCBD. Sound of Lubbock.
Oh, well, the little things you say and do make me want to be with you. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling when you say I love you. Rave on. The way you dance and hold me tight, the way you kiss and say goodnight. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling when you say I love you. Rave on. Oh, well, rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling. I'm so glad that you're revealing your love for me. Rave on and tell me not to be lonely. Tell me you love me only. Rave on.
Normally I'm off by 1 o'clock in the morning, but because I had to sign back on. Plus, I'm going to finish this story, so we're going to go past 1 o'clock if that's okay with you.
Well, rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling. I'm so glad that you're revealing your love for me. Rave on and tell me not to be lonely. Tell me you love me only. Rave on to me.
1958, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Of course, just credited to Buddy Holly on the Coral Records label. Lubbock, Texas' very own Charles Hardin, Buddy Holly. And of course, his drummer, Jerry Allison, was dating a girl, and her name was Cindy. Her name was Cindy Lou, and Jerry wrote a song for Cindy Lou. Well, for whatever reason, when they went to record it at Norman Petty's studio in Clovis, New Mexico, I don't know what Norman was thinking, but I don't know if Jerry and Cindy had broken up or what the case was, but they decided to change it from Cindy Lou to Peggy Sue, 1957.
Win spin.
On the Coral Records label, Buddy Holly not credited with the Crickets and Peggy Sue.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you'd know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, galleys. I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearns for you, oh, Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, yes, I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I need you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy,
gal, yes, I need you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I want you, Peggy Sue.
1957, originally called Cindy Lou.
Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I want you, Peggy.
The Pride of Lubbock, Texas, on a Friday night oldies party spotlight segment. That would be the day the music died, commemorating February 3rd in 1959, 66 years ago, that we lost Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper in that fatal plane crash just outside of Mason City, Iowa airport. And of course, Richie Valens, there's a story that goes that he was dating a girl named Donna Ludwig at the time in 1958, and her family lived in San Fernando, and his family lived in Pacoima. Well, they're kind of next to each other, and of course, San Fernando is kind of where your middle and upper class Valleyites lived in Southern California, and Pacoima was where all the, well, poor Mexicans lived, and they all went to San Fernando High School, and Richie and Donna kind of hooked up and everything. Well, her dad didn't quite like that idea, so he forbade Donna to see Richie. Well, he tried to get her back because she was like, well, what do I do? My dad doesn't want me to go out with you. What do I do? So he wrote a song for her, and he wasn't allowed over to her house. He would knock at the door. Her dad would slam the door in his face, say she's not home, and forbid Richie to see Donna. Well, he went to a payphone, and she just happened to answer the phone, so he sang the song to her over the phone. This was the song that he wrote for her early 1959, Richie Valens. It's called Donna.
1110 KRLA Pasadena.
Ricardo Valenzuela, and a stage name Richie Valens. Late 1958, early 1959, a song he wrote for his girlfriend at the time, Donna Ludwig, and Donna on the Delphi Records label on a Friday night oldies party spotlight segment. Of course, Richie, like I said earlier, he was known for writing most of his own tunes, and this one was actually redone by Little Richard Penniman in a year later, and he changed the name from Ooh My Head to Ooh My Soul. But here is Richie's original composition from 1958 and Ooh My Head.
KBLA 1500 California Radio.
There
That would be one of his original compositions. 1958, Ooh, My Head, Ricardo Valenzuela, Richie Valens. And like I said, Little Richard Penniman out of Macon, Georgia, decided to do a remake of it, changed one of the words in the title, and put his own spin onto it. So there you go. And here is Little Richard's version of that.
Wind spin.
WNEX Radio Maker.
Oh, my soul. Baby, 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 baby. Don't you know my love is true? Honey, 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 honey. Get up off of that money. Love, 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 love. Oh, my soul. Baby, 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 baby. Don't you know my love is true? Honey, 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 honey. Get up off of that money. Kiss, 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 kiss. Oh, my soul. Baby, 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 baby. And don't you know my love for you? Honey, 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 honey. Get up off of that money. Love, 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 love. Oh, my soul.
Ambro Maldonado checking in from McAllen, Texas. What's going on there, Ambro? Is it still nice and warm down there in McAllen? It actually warmed up here in Cincinnati. The snow melted.
Well, baby, 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 baby. Don't you know my love for you? Honey, 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 honey. Get up off of that money. Love, 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 love. My soul, baby, 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 baby. Don't you know my love is true? Honey, 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 honey. Get up off of that money. Kiss, 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 kiss. Oh, my soul. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Give me all the love you got. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. You got the best of love and now. Love, 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 love.
Little Richard Penniman from Macon, Georgia. He was a former dishwasher in a Houston, Texas, a Greyhound bus station, 1959, and that would be his version of Ooh, My Head, and he changed it to Ooh, My Soul on the Specialty Records label. Of course, there were a lot of artists that remade a lot of Richie's songs in his tribute. The McCoys in the 60s, Little Richard, and various other artists, the Beatles and whatnot, had recorded some of Richie's tunes later on as a tribute, as well as some of the Buddy Holly and Big Bopper stuff. But, if those three, Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper and Richie Valens, had only stayed on that bus, they probably would have gotten some frostbite, but at least they probably would have lived. But they decided to pay $36 each person to charter a plane out of Mason City, Iowa. They were playing at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, which is about 3 or 4 miles away from Mason City. So they chartered the plane and took off in the middle of the night, or at midnight, in the middle of the night. And it was a blinding snowstorm. The captain, the pilot of the plane, all of its instrumentation, directional instrumentation had gone haywire, so he had no idea where he was going, so ended up crashing into a cornfield just outside of Mason City, Iowa. So the Clear Lake, Iowa, the Surf Ballroom, to this very day is still operating, and the owner and the original disc jockey who introduced these groups on stage at KRIB Radio in Mason City, Iowa, still does a tribute to this very day, 66 years later. So here you go, one of my absolute favorites from Buddy Holly from 1958, Well, All Right.
1490 KRIB Mason City.
Well, All Right on the Coral Records label. Just credited to Buddy Holly, but it was Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Well, alright, so I'm being foolish. Well, alright, let people know about the dreams and wishes you wish in the night when lights are low. Well, alright, we live
live and love with all our might. Well, alright, well, alright. Our lifetime love will be alright. Well, alright, so I'm going steady. It's alright when people say that those foolish kids can't be ready for the love that comes their way. Well, alright, we will live and love with all our might. Well, alright, our lifetime love will be alright. Alright.
76 degrees today, huh, McAllen?
We'll live and love.
It's about 59 degrees here today.
Well, alright. Our lifetime love will be alright.
Charles Hardin, Buddy Holly, yep, from Lubbock, Texas, the pride of 1958 on the Coral Records label. That would be Well Alright, one of my favorites on a Friday night oldies party. I tell you what, 2.5 hours goes by just like that. I extended it an extra half hour. I had to restart the feed. I hope everybody enjoyed our Spotlight segment to the day the music died. And we'll see you again next Friday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Once again, Brian K., God bless each and every one of you. Wishing you lots of love, much money, and a laugh a minute. Put on the coffee bubbles. I'm coming upstairs. In lieu of our usual sign-off of the Angels, thank you and good night, I thought I would end out with one of those huggling and snuggling songs that still stands the test of time to this day. Redone by Peter and Gordon in the 60s, but here's the original, Buddy Holly, True Love Ways.
Just you know why you and I will by and by know true love ways. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love ways. Throughout the days, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love ways.
Now make sure that you're tuned in next Friday night because we're going to be doing our annual Beatles tribute, commemorating and celebrating their first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, February 9th, 1964. So you don't want to miss that one.
Throughout the days, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why. Just you and I know true love.
My pleasure there, Thad. Thank you so much for keeping tuned with me tonight. Buddy Holly, True Love Ways from 1959, posthumous hit.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
See you real soon.
K-E-Y.
Why? Because we like you.
M-O-U-S-E.
My pleasure there, Drakester. We'll talk this weekend.
The preceding was a copyrighted feature and may not be reproduced in whole or in part.
In whole or in part.
Without the written consent.
Brian K.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family. From the town of Bedrock, they're a page right out of history. Someday, maybe Fred will win the fight. Then that cat will stay out for the night. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do time. We'll have a gay old time.
All right, good night to you, especially you, and good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
We'll have a gay old time.
Until next Friday night, 11 o'clock, have a good weekend. We'll see you next Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Good night.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just
Sing a song and think about sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again.